It was supposed to be just another ordinary evening for Margaret Lewis. A retired school principal, she had spent decades shaping young minds, teaching them about justice, history, and the power of standing up for what's right. But none of her lessons could prepare her for what was about to happen. When she walked into Westgate Market that night, she didn't know she was stepping into a battlefield, a place where power and prejudice had conspired against her, a place where her skin color made her a suspect, and the system was designed to keep her silent. She had survived segregation, she had fought for civil rights, but in that moment, as two officers approached with cold stares and hands hovering over their weapons, she realized her fight wasn't over. Before we dive into this powerful story of injustice and resilience, comment below where you're watching from today. And if you believe in standing up against corruption and racial injustice, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more eye-opening stories. The fluorescent lights of Westgate Market gleamed off the polished tile floor, creating an illusion of warmth. Margaret, 76 years old, moved carefully through the aisles, her silver curls peeking out from under her neatly wrapped scarf. She wasn't a regular at this upscale grocery store in Brentwood Hills, a predominantly white, affluent neighborhood. But her granddaughter had recently moved nearby, and she had promised to cook a Sunday dinner to make their new place feel like home. As she reached for a bag of rice, she noticed them, two uniformed police officers, whispering near the checkout. Officer Daniel Cross, tall and muscular, nudged his younger partner, Officer Brett Wilkins, who straightened at the queue. "Watch her," Cross murmured. Margaret felt it before she saw it. The uneasy glances from the cashier, the way the store manager subtly gestured toward her. The script was old, and she knew it well. "Ma'am," Wilkins called out as they approached. "We've received reports of suspicious activity in the store." Margaret turned slowly, her posture calm but firm. "Suspicious?" she repeated. "I'm buying groceries." Cross smirked. "You've been in here a long time. Mind showing us some ID?" She knew this game. They wanted her to be afraid, to flinch, to run, to give them an excuse. "I've done nothing wrong," she said, reaching for her purse. But before she could unzip it, Cross grabbed her arm. "Don't move!" he barked. The force sent her stumbling into the shelf behind her. A bag of flour burst on the ground, sending white powder into the air. "Stop resisting!" Wilkins yelled. Margaret wasn't resisting, she was gasping. And that's when she saw her phone on the floor, screen still recording. Margaret barely registered the ride to Precinct 12, the squad car's flashing lights reflecting against the rain-slicked streets. Her wrists ached from the cuffs, but the pain was nothing compared to the sinking feeling in her gut. Inside the station, she was processed like a criminal, fingerprinted, photographed, and shoved into a cold, dimly lit holding cell. She had spent her life educating young people about justice, and now she was staring at the broken, ugly reality of it. Through the metal bars, she listened. The officers didn't bother lowering their voices. "Her phone was recording," Cross grumbled. "You made sure it's wiped, right?" "Yeah," Wilkins replied. "And we logged her as combative. Chief will back us up." Margaret closed her eyes. She wasn't just hearing their corruption. She was witnessing it. Miles away, Isaiah Lewis, a rising civil rights attorney, was wrapping up a case when his phone rang. "Mom?" he answered, confused. But it wasn't her voice. "This is Officer Parker from Precinct 12. Your mother has been arrested." Isaiah's world stopped. "What?" His chair screeched as he shot to his feet. "On what charges?" "Shoplifting and resisting arrest." Isaiah gripped his desk so tightly his knuckles turned white. They were lying. He knew it. "I'll be there in 10 minutes." He hung up, but not before sending a message to the one person who could help uncover the truth, his investigative journalist friend, Camille Rivers. Inside the precinct, Margaret sat quietly, watching, listening, absorbing everything. What she learned in just a few hours was enough to burn the entire system down. She overheard officers laughing about planted evidence in previous arrests. She heard Chief Harlow himself instructing someone to delete footage before the news gets wind of it. Most chilling of all, she caught a glimpse of a file sitting on the desk of a young officer, one labeled Red Zone Policy. The pages inside revealed a chilling secret. the city had systematically targeted Black and Latino communities for increased policing, making false arrests to meet quotas and seizing assets that were then funneled into private accounts. This wasn't just about her, it was about an entire system built to oppress. When Isaiah arrived at the precinct, he wasn't alone. Camille Rivers had already put together a breaking news report with leaked footage from a store employee who had seen everything. And outside, a growing crowd of protesters had begun to gather. As Isaiah demanded his mother's release, he let one final bombshell drop. "The footage of her arrest is already online," he told them. "Every major news station is watching. You can either let her go now, or we take this all the way to the federal courts." The precinct went into chaos. Chief Harlow ordered the officers to wipe security footage, but it was too late. Margaret was released, but Isaiah wasn't done. He filed a federal lawsuit, exposing not just the false arrest, but the entire Red Zone program. Then, Camille's report went national. Under public pressure, the FBI launched an investigation. Within weeks, Officers Cross and Wilkins were fired. Chief Harlow resigned, and the city had no choice but to dismantle the entire corrupt policy. Margaret never wanted to be famous, but overnight, she became the face of a movement. Her arrest led to sweeping police reforms, body camera requirements, and an overhaul of the city's corrupt policing practices. And as she stood before a crowd of thousands at a justice rally, she knew one thing for certain. She had spent her life teaching about justice. Now, she had lived it. What would you have done in Margaret's place? Would you have stayed silent or risked everything to fight back? Let us know in the comments. And if you believe in stories that expose injustice and fight for real change, like this video and subscribe for more powerful stories.